Hello and welcome back. I have something a little interesting to show you today, and no, it's not this micro cassette recorder. It's what I'm hiding right here. So, a little earlier today, I'll move the light here. A little earlier today, I picked up this Macintosh SE 30 with this disgusting keyboard. This is my clean one, but I have not been using it. And this Mac came with a Mac and fax. These are already mine. You've seen these before. We have some communication center type stuff. Looks like a zip disk. It's actually just a floppy in the case for a HP DeskWriter 600. So I assume, yeah, it's definitely a floppy. Also, there's a SCSI cable here with one of these. Yep, Apple. Which, yeah, you can see there's some interesting text. But one of the other things that came with this Mac, if I pull it around here, is this. A Mac bag. This thing holds your Mac, which you can't quite see the bottom because it's obviously nighttime. You have a open part there, got a keyboard holder. This is where the modem was. And I think, yeah, still even have some documentation hidden here. Just kind of shows some of this off. You can see this is the quick start for this modem here, which I will be looking at here in a second. Sportster. Anyways, these are pretty interesting. Interesting to look at. Shows you exactly how to set stuff up and all. And Mac Comm Center, which is where'd that floppy go? Here it is. It's fax and data communications. Looks like it's from 94. It's version 1.0.4. So it's possibly updated. This one has a little bit of water damage, but still great detail. What I like about this one is if I can find, oh yeah, right here. It actually shows like pictures from like menus and stuff, and I mean, like, nobody does that anymore. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's only one issue, and I will show you that issue. Well, actually, there's two issues. First one is, I have a floppy disk stuck in the drive, and no matter how hard I push in here with this thing, I can get the tab, and as you can see, it starts to come up. Kind of dropped the camera there a bit, sorry. It starts to come up, but I can't quite get it to come out far enough, and I can't grab it with anything because it's too far into the case. But that's a little disappointing. Second thing you'll notice up here is this little hard drive indicator. This is also, as far as I know, not working. But that kind of connects to the second issue, which I'll demonstrate here in a minute. But I think the first thing on hand is to kind of do a proper review. At least looking at the back panel and seeing what's there. So I guess we'll switch to that first. Thought it might be good if I mentioned I do have the programmer switch, which fits right here, and what I thought was kind of funny is right under it, I guess it was on for so long, it's not yellowed, so that's kind of neat. But at some point I might take some retro bright to this, and we'll see what happens, but not right now. Okay, so going from top to bottom here, you can see it's the Macintosh SE 30 listed office equipment. My model was assembled in Singapore, and there's an FCC ID there if you're interested in that kind of thing. Also, it's a 1988 model, which, as far as I know, these began production in 1987. As you'll also see here, I have a Radius 2-page display card, which, at the moment, I'm not sure quite what it does. I can't take this part off, and I don't really want to force it, and I can't feel anything in there, so, you know, I don't know what that does, but Guess we'll find out at some point. You have your lock here, power connector, got a switch. I'm surprised this sticker is still on and doesn't seem to be peeling, so that's pretty interesting to me. Coming around here, you can see we have one of those Torx T15 screws up there. Our two 80B Apple desktop bus connectors for like a mouse and keyboard. You got an external floppy disk connector, floppy drive connector, I mean. And then you also have a SCSI port, or like you can also, I'm pretty sure, use it for printers. But you also have a printer and modem port. And then this Mac also has the ability to play sound out of the headphone jack. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, my Classic 2 has it too, but you know, it's 1988, so I just wasn't expecting it. Anyways, one other thing I'd like to mention is this vent here. There is actually a case fan, which I thought was kind of interesting because most other Macs, as far as I know, didn't have a case fan. It still works, so, you know, fine with that. So, anyways, I guess I'll move around back to the front side and get everything plugged in and show you the second issue that's kind of plaguing me today. Alright, so we're around the front now, and I got everything all plugged in, and I think we'll give it a turn on. So as you can see, everything looks okay. Cursor should come up, and I can move around the mouse here. But let's take a listen to that hard disk, shall we? Let's see here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it kind of starts up and then makes some interesting noises. It goes on and off and on and off, and doesn't matter what you do. I'd also like to mention that, first of all, indicator light is not on, and it's not reading the drive. And yes, I have tried keyboard extensions, and the keyboard does in fact work. I just can't seem to figure out why it's not working here. So that's one thing I'm going to be troubleshooting for the next few days. But yes, I have tried the programmer switch, but as you can see, you get one of these friendly little errors. So I looked this up. I found a guy who had the same exact error and the same exact issue with the hard disk, and he said it might be an issue with capacitors. So, you know, I'm going to have to open it up here in the next few days, probably do some coverage on it, and either I'll be the one pulling the capacitors out and putting some new ones in, which hopefully they're relatively cheap, or I know this guy who can do a little work for me. And actually, just to make this a little bit better for you, turn off that. It's not too much better, but you can see it really is not as bright as modern screens. Even if I turn up the brightness here, it looks pretty bright on camera, but it's not that bad. You can really turn it down too. Could probably make it a little bit better for you to see. Yeah. Anyways, I'll turn it back up to my level of brightness here, and we'll turn the light back on. And as you can hear, drive is continuously going on and off, and in the meantime, turn that off here. And yes, I have waited. Eventually it does get to a big floppy with an X, and you know, I just haven't I wait for a while. I've tried getting this disk out, and it's jammed in there, so I'm gonna have to open it up anyways. And it's a startup disk from this line, if my camera would focus here, this line of Macintosh disks, and I think this one, this set, here we go, this is for the Macintosh Plus, so there's no system startup disk. There is, let's see, guided tour, Mac Draw, Mac Paint, as you can see down there under the little floppy disk. But so eventually, when I get this thing working, hopefully I'll be able to mess around with that. Although if you know the story on the Classic 2, you'll also know that one is broken. Although I didn't break this one. This one is not my fault. So it might just be a matter of replacing the capacitors and having everything all of a sudden start working. or it might be a matter of me taking everything apart, or just it goes into storage and that's it until I find a working one. But in the meantime, I guess we'll look at the modem here, which I know most people are pretty interested in. I do have it. Oh, it's not hooked up right now, but I did have it hooked up. This I'm not quite sure what this connector is. I don't remember. It goes back to that modem port on the back, and basically this is just a standard phone line, runs down here, and there's a switch here you can use, and US robotics, and this is a V34, as you can see, and a V32 business fax modem. Although the lady did say that she has used it to browse the internet before. So yeah, eventually I'll be browsing on either here or another Mac, and hopefully this thing actually does work. She said she hasn't used it in at least 10 years, and I actually got a really good deal for all this, about $50 US, and I'm not too sure she knew what she was dealing with, but she was a retired, what company did she work for? Something data systems, but she was more familiar with DOS and IBM systems, so, she got it as a gift, and guess she just never used it. So anyways, yeah, that's basically everything I got today, and pretty happy with what I received. And the rest of the time I've been messing around with my TI-99, which I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing a video on that soon. The deal came up this morning. I had to go get it, so I went and grabbed this and posted a few teasers online, and yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll end on this microcassette recorder again. And if I can turn it up here, maybe it's not. I think the speaker might be half dead. It does work with headphones though. I was recording, as you can see, from the aux cord and an iPod over here, which is a 3rd gen. I've been recording some of my music onto tape, and really like these micro cassettes because they're just pretty portable. And as you can see, if it wasn't buried behind all this stuff, I took this tape out. I don't want to write over any of this. I put a few stickers on it too. This is the cassette with my TI-99 programs, which if you saw the teaser video, it also shows I was writing a program, although it didn't quite work right, and I'll attempt to actually show that here at the end of the video in a minute. But yeah, it didn't save the program after I spent probably about 20 minutes typing it out from a book on archive.org. So yeah, I did manage to play the game, although my camera ran out of storage before I was able to record that, so a little disappointed. But it did get the whole coding process, and I say coding because I don't really feel like it was coding. It was more of me copying stuff down and making sure I got everything right, and I did correct the errors. If you go back and look at the footage, you can see at the end. So anybody wondering, although I do remember it did give me an error on line 1010. So if you are gonna bug me about that, yes, line 1010 might have an error. So anyways, I guess I'll show you what happened to this cassette by hopefully playing it, and that should be it. So here's my moment of stupidity for the day. As you can see, it's reversing right now, but and you could probably hear, but I stuck it in on side A and hit reverse. So and I was supposed to be on side B, as you might be able to see by that little bit of sticker there. So now I have to reverse it all over again. This thing slowly speeds up, so every once in a while I stop it so I don't tear the tape or anything, but Alright, so after quite a while rewinding, it is a 60-minute tape, I will just set the counter here to 0. Press that a few times. There you go. It should start almost immediately here. It's a short tape message here, but it's recorded straight from the TI-99, so I'm happy that it came over, but it tape's a little bit old. So as you'll hear here in a second, here in a second, um, it's not quite right. So it wasn't recognized by the machine afterwards, and I didn't quite check all the way. I just listened to the first part, was like, okay, and then this morning when I tried to load it back up, I was like, oh, that's not right. But I'll let you listen here for yourself. Anyways, that goes on for quite a while, so I won't have you listen to the whole thing, but that is my basic program, and I will include a video. Maybe it'll be unlisted, and I'll link it in the description. But I will include that in case you want to try to decode it, and if you're successful, please send me a clean copy, and I'll put it straight on a new tape. So, yeah, I'll put that in the description, and in the meantime, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review and whatever I was doing with this, I think it is about a 15-minute video. It's all split into different parts, and this one was recorded on my older camera, so not quite the same quality, but quick video. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm not in my normal filming area. Completely different room, almost an empty room, but hopefully it was worth it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Look out for that recording of this in the description. It will be unlisted, but, it'll be linked. So, yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, whatever. Bye-bye.